So good morning all. Maybe I'll just unmute your audio for a while. You can unmute for the next maybe 1 minute. So you can all greet each other. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Happy morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning,
Good
teachers.
morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
So we'll mute it back now. We'll just mute it back.
Good morning, sir.
Good
morning,
sir.
Good morning, sir.
I think with a click, I'm able to mute all of you back. And you're now unable to unmute back. I think so. So today we will be seeing all these features and what are the rights and wrongs in online classes and how you can make your online classes more better. So from tomorrow onwards, we are starting our classes online again based on the government instructions. So you can turn on your videos, it is fine. Okay, if you're turning on your videos, make sure that you are in a proper backgrounds. Okay, so I'll just highlight my, yes, there is something called a spotlight for everyone. So when you click on a small 3 button icon near your video, you will find that option called spotlight for everyone. So that will be available only for the host and co-host. So once you spotlight it, like I have done now, every single participant of this meeting will be able to see my video only, even though there are multiple videos turned on. Okay, so these are few features. Like this session is for 60 minutes. Towards the end, there will be more interactions, and in between also, whenever you have a doubt, the chat box is open for you, as well as you can use the raise hand feature, and I will selectively unmute you all so you can ask your doubts. So I wanted to take it a more interactive session, but I don't want to prolong the session. So it is you are not allowed to unmute unless selectively asked to. Okay, so hope you will all understand. Now coming to the session, I have a small presentation to you initially. Let me present it first, and in between, whenever there is doubts coming up, I will sure entertain all those doubts, and also I will be allowing you to ask your doubts by selectively unmuting you as well. Okay, so hope that thing is clear. And finally, after the 10 minutes towards the end of the session, we will sure have a doubt clarification session, wherein you can anywhere between the session you didn't understand any technical part of this, you can please ask and I will take you back there. Okay, so first of all, thank you all teachers for joining here. You are the strength of our entire Velamal school and brand as it is, and you are going to spearhead this entire online classes going forward. So all the best to you all, as well as any support needed. We are all there to support you, so please don't worry. And we have already crossed almost 2 years of online classes, so it is not unlike last 2 years back when suddenly you were introduced into online classes. I still remember that session which I took for most of the teachers here on Zoom and on Microsoft Teams and all. Today we'll be more discussing about Zoom. Okay, and now let me share my screen and take you through the presentations. So I hope this presentation is visible to you all. Can you all put an S in the chat box if it is visible? The presentation is visible and my audio is clear. Can you all give me a yes in the chat box? Yes, great. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So okay. That's great. That's great. I'm getting a lot of S's here. Thank you. So these are like, today I will be entertaining a lot of ways which you can follow in your online classes. Okay. So these are small tips and tricks which you can follow. Initially, you can actually for 1 minute, you can allow every single student to unmute themselves and say good morning, say their greetings. That will keep their energy higher. See, now it is all online. I'll take you through the situations and other things, but these things will be very handy for you in your online classes. And in between the class, ask the students to put something in the chat box. Like they can respond to some of your questions in the chat box. Okay, so now this is all about online classes. So I have this presentation ready for you. I will be sending the presentation to you all after this particular session. And this particular meeting is also being live streamed. So this YouTube link will also be given to you. So no, don't worry if in case you have missed anything. So two participants have raised their hands. Ravi Kumar sir, you have anything, sir? Please unmute. So I have asked you to unmute, sir. Ravi Kumar sir? No, there is nothing. Ravi Kumar sir is okay. Raju and Paul. Okay, please, participants or teachers and heads over here. If you have any doubts, please use the raise hand feature. That is a wonderful feature in Zoom. It is to make it similar like a classroom environment. If you have any doubts, if you want me to stop there and unmute you to ask those doubts, please raise your hands. Otherwise, please make sure that you're not raising your hands. Always tell the students also the same, because we don't want 20 to 50 students raising their hands, and that way we don't know which student has a genuine query and which student has raised their hands just like that. Okay, so please tell the students also not to raise hands unless it is very much needed. Okay, now we'll go to the first, we'll start the presentation now, we'll start the session. So first of all, I need to give you a justification for this particular session. Why do we want such a session? Like last 2 years, we have had online classes. It is not something very new for us now. And then why do we want another session on training what is online class? It's as simple as that. As technology is always growing, even the Zoom which you have used 2 months back has changed almost 6 versions in the last 2 months. Almost 6 versions, introducing a lot of new features. Okay. Yes. So even that, as teachers, it is equally important for you all to know the technology part of it. And if there are certain value additions which I can make from my knowledge of online classes, where I also personally attend a lot of online classes. I also take a lot of online classes. So with this, and I also I'm also related to the brand VB Live, which is Velamal Bodhi Live as it is, which is the online segment of our Velamal Bodhi campus. Now, with all these experiences, if I am able to add 1 or 2 few tips and tricks for you in this session, I'm happy for that. Okay. So now the whole world is virtual. So now we are not able to help it, even though we don't want it. We always want a physical brick and mortar schooling system for our children. Even for my own son, I want a physical brick and mortar schooling system, but I cannot help it. So the whole world is virtual now. So there is nothing to be able to help it. But what we can do is we can aim at creating the best of it. What we can do best for our children in this virtual world. The virtual environment gives more stress to the children, obviously. Like we are all used to it. A lot of parents have complained to us. Now, multiple virtual sessions is giving my child a lot of stress. Maybe eye pain. Yeah, it is obviously a physical condition. Yes, fine. Headache. Yes, fine. But why is stress getting created because of virtual environments? We will see through that. And basically, it is because of a very basic psychological fact that there is no human interactions. Human are social and like social animals, we say. We need to see people, we need to interact with people to have our balance. So when in online environment, all the children are seeing is their household, their known environments, and nothing outside that. So that is the main reason for students to get into stress, and there is literally zero peer learning happening. So almost most of the learning which happens in the early younger ages of children happens through peer learning and through their outside world, and that is not happening in a virtual world. So these gaps of stress management and peer learning has to be taken care by this particular by you all, by the teachers. Okay, so where we need to take care is we are all very good at teaching to children. We teach very good subject to children, but in online learning, when it comes, there are 2-3 factors you need to consider to balance the gap, which is majorly stress management, and peer learning concepts. Stress management, yes, we are doing some counseling sessions. From the management has supported us a lot for organizing multiple online sessions and everything. But peer learning, it is very much happening less. Like Lucy Pradibha has raised their hands. Ma'am, you want anything to share, ma'am? Lucy, ma'am? Lucy Pradibha, ma'am? Yes. Please go.
Yes, sir. It's not only stress for the children. It's actually a stress for us also, because
Exactly.
we are also aware that all parents are sitting around the children for the class. So it's
Exactly.
even more stress for us rather than for the children.
Exactly. You said it right, ma'am. So I am also able to see a lot of teachers actually. Even yesterday, I had an interaction with one of the heads, and where I was saying, like, when in an offline environment, we actually teach for 60 minutes. We need to allocate more than 2 hours to 3 hours to take that 1 hour of online class, because there's more stress involved. There cannot be any space for mistakes. Parents are there, right there to criticize us if in case there is any mistakes. There will be judgments, like they'll be judging us every single second we are teaching them. So all these things are there, and that is where online class has put a tremendous amount of pressure on teachers as well. Thank you, ma'am, for sharing that. And now we have a chat message. Okay, that's good morning. Okay, now going ahead with this session. So these are few things which we'll be checking out. So what we can do, so we'll come to the solutions. We know the problems, we have spoken about the problems a lot. Now we'll come to the solutions. So steps you can follow. I have listed down some 8 steps which we can quickly follow, and I'll take you through all these 8 steps. If any of these steps adds a little value to you, which helps you make a better classroom arrangement, on online classroom arrangement, I'm happy for that. Okay. Now, before going into this, give me a minute. Okay. Now I have, you would all receive a poll right now. If you can see into the screen, it's actually a start poll. I would want you to actually answer for this. Just take a minute's time. I'll just open the poll for just 60 or even 30 to 45 seconds. Please take a minute's time. Answer this. Everybody, please answer this poll. We have almost 800 plus participants here. I'm very happy for it. Please answer this poll. Yes, those who have answered, yes, thank you. Sudhagar Babu has raised their hands. Sudhagar Babu, sir, please unmute and tell your concern, sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. I am confident, sir.
Yeah. Okay, great, sir. Great, sir. Please answer in that poll. That will be great. Yeah. Those who have answered, big thanks to you. We'll end the poll in another few seconds. Few more seconds and we'll end the poll and we'll go into the subject. We have almost 379 participants so far answered. Okay. Okay, so we have 400. So we are going to almost end it. Please, another 10 more seconds. All of you, please speed up. 10 more seconds. 10 more seconds, and I'm going to end it because we need to complete this session in 60 minutes. It's already 14 minutes past 10. Okay, so we are stuck in 435, 436, 439. Okay, it's going on. Teachers, please make sure you're answering this. Okay. Okay, that's a great thing. Now I'm going to end the poll. So I would also like to, even I can share the results to you all. It's out of 453, out of 820 plus participants, 453 of you have answered. And out of that 453, almost 425 of you have answered as yes, you're confident on online classes. I'm very happy for that. 2 people have answered no, and 26 people have answered maybe. So that's a very little percentage compared. You will all see the results now here. Okay, it's all in front of you. So now there is a reason why I wanted this poll, which I'll be telling you through the in future slides of mine. Okay, so but this is an interesting activity, right? So we'll go ahead with this. Now stop share. I've stopped the poll. Now coming back to the class. So most of you are already confident on taking online classes. Now this adds some more pressure onto me. Actually, I need to give substantial matter to you today because you're already confident. I need to add value to it. Now, what are the points? Content preparation. So the first point is content preparation. Ensure that your course has coherent structure and that materials are well organized. So it is not like offline, as the one faculty has already shared. There's a lot of criticism going on in the background. Teachers, parents will be very much involved in the learning mechanism. So content preparation is very, very important. We will go in detail on each of these points. Extra efforts. What are the extra efforts which you are going to put so that the students understand what is expected of them? And regular whole class communications. So what is that regular whole class communications? We'll see. And being responsive, very, very important. You need to be responsive even if it is online, the same way or even more than when it was offline. And student volunteering is a very, very important thing. I don't know how far we are actually using this during our class, but we will see how it has been used. And then technology familiarity. Most of you are already familiar with Zooms, but we will see few things which you need to ensure while conducting Zoom classes. And then plan for the unresponding. So in this poll, we had almost for 400 out of 800, 400 have answered. So it's only 50%. Maybe given few more minutes, maybe we would have reached 70%, but there are still a 20 to 30% who are unresponding. So what are we going to do for them? And then assignment feedbacks and being presentable to the last. So these are the 9 points which we are going to see today. We will go one by one. So first thing is about content preparation. I know, like, see, certain of these things might sound very, very basic to you. Please ignore this is for an addressing to the entire group here. Certain of the teachers over here would be already preparing very excellent content. It is not about the subjective matter. So far, that is why I've written make a structure. So far, we have all followed an academic plan. We all have an academic plan, an academic schedule, a calendar, everything we have. But in online classes, more than us, it is the students and of course the parents should know this academic calendar. So far we have been sharing the academic calendar, but how much efforts has the student and the parent has put into that to actually check the academic calendar and the academic schedule is very, very important. Now you need to give a reminder to the children as well as the parents to prepare, to have a view at the academic calendar. And this is how this class is going to that is, you need to tell them this is how the class will be going ahead. So how to create, sir? Charles Bruno, I will tell you, sir. Bruno sir, I'll tell you. So this is how the academic calendar is very, very important for the parents and students to know. Then shareables. Now all school heads over here, please mark this point. It is very important for you to give a helping hand to all your teachers by preparing a proper PPT template. If at all your teachers are going to use any sort of PPTs, any sort of PDFs, PPTs, or any sort of shareable materials, okay, it should carry your school logos and it should be in a uniform template. You can even give 2-3 creative templates, that's all fine. But make sure that you are supporting your faculty members. You can actually assign this to ACOs also, but they have to support the faculty members by giving a plain PPT template in which the faculty members can put their content and present. Logo is very, very important, and a proper presentation, a proper formatted PPT is very, very important. Even if you want any support, like the heads would be having multiple, the computer teachers can actually support you from the schools. So all schools heads should take responsibility on creating a common PPT template for their schools. Teachers should use this template only. Okay, post class, this template, this PPT, whatever you are using for that particular class, 100% the PPT has to be shared in the WhatsApp group for students, because we want the students to listen to the class. Unlike offline classes, they cannot be dividing their attention between writing notes, seeing your PPT and listening to your class. It is not possible. Okay, so in that the attention span of the children reduces. So Anupanadi, VBC, Vidya ma'am, please stop your video. This is something which we will be handling in the next slides. But now coming back here, so this particular PPT has to be shared with the students after the class, okay, along with corresponding worksheets and assignments. So it is very important that you give small worksheets, even if it is a descriptive subject which you are taking. Please take some extra time. I know it is actually you will be going behind schedule after schedule, but if possible, take some extra time and prepare a small worksheet, a small exercise note, and send it to the children along with your class PPTs. It is very, very important for the children to have it. And then library, again, it is a responsibility of the heads to ensure starting tomorrow, if we are going to start our online classes, from tomorrow, in each of your compartment wise, whatever classes are happening in each of your sections, the PPTs which are being prepared, concept wise, it has to be stored somewhere as a library. It shouldn't be that we prepare something, we take something from online, we put it together in a PPT in some template, and we present it to the class and then we forget about it. It shouldn't be the case. Kindly ensure, as heads and in charges, the school heads, the ACOs, everybody, kindly ensure, the class teachers, ensure that whatever PPTs or worksheets has been given for your students are properly being saved in a, maybe in a folder structure in your school heads laptops, maybe, or computers, or even like technical, like the computer teachers can create some Google Drive folders where this entire library has to be kept intact. Okay, it is very, very important. Each of the content which our teachers are preparing are assets to us. Okay, it is very big assets to us. So kindly ensure that this library is being maintained. Okay, so these are the content preparation points. First thing, your academic schedule has to be known to all the parents and students. Only then they will have a clear understanding on how the class is progressing. Second thing, you need to have a proper branded logo with logo PPT template, which you are going to use for your class in case you are going to use a PPT or a PDF. Otherwise, if you are going to take it from a green board or something like that, it is all fine for no problem. But if you are going to share some materials, be it on a proper branded and a templated way, okay? And then the library, any materials you create during this online class period, we want it to be properly saved, okay? So these are the three things. Now, on content preparations, and now extra efforts for students. It's very simple. Some extra materials, which I already told you in the previous slide. More self-preparatory materials and reference books should be given to children. It is not something which you are like, even for smaller classes, there are a lot of reference books, reference video links, reference materials, which you can share it in the WhatsApp groups for children to go and check it and take a, take references from. Okay, apart from your PPTs or some extra worksheets which you are giving to the children, some extra materials which is available online. So obviously VB Live will be supporting all the schools in this. Within a week's time, today we are going to share a template to all your school heads for the student informations. Post the student informations are received, we will be giving access to our content portal for the children. That will happen in a week's time. With support of Bala sir and other staff members of VB Live, we will reach out to all your schools, and self preparatory materials and like exam materials will be shared with you. Okay, 1 minute. Give me a minute. So this is okay. So this is regarding the extra materials. More self-preparatory materials and reference books should be given to children. VB Live shall play a major role here, where we will give unlimited free access to all students to our portal. Okay, this we will do from VB Live team. From your side, please ensure if you are selecting some materials or reference content from internet, kindly make sure to check it twice if it is relevant to your subject which you are teaching, and then only you share it to the WhatsApp group. And quizzes. During class, this is where this poll comes into the picture. I will tell you how to create the poll on Okay. Vidyalaya Varaganur, ma'am has raised hands. No, again she has took it down. So during class hours and after class, small quizzes needs to be conducted for children. It hardly takes 5 minutes. I know 5 minutes is too much to ask from most of your teachers, but if possible, these are certain extra tips which can make students learning experience more friendly. So small quizzes, you can use Google Forms. Like it is as simple as 5 minutes to create a Google form. I will tell you how to create a Google form also. Very simply, we can do that. Just enter the questions and put it out to the right answers also you can enter, and you can put it out to the children. They will answer it back. Or this during the class you can create polls are actually a paid Zoom account feature. So if you are using a free account, unfortunately you will not be able to use polls, but at the same time Google Forms you can use as an like assignment needed, you can use Google Forms. I'll tell you how to do Google Forms also. Small quizzes, it might be 2 questions or 1 question quiz. You need not have a 10 or 15 or 20 question quiz for the class. Maybe whatever you taught that particular day, you frame only 2 questions or 3 questions out of it and throw it to the students, let them answer it. It's actually an engagement exercise for the children that will create more traction from the children. Okay, so extra materials and quiz are these extra efforts which you can give to the children. How to create polls, I'll tell you. And next thing is regular whole class communication. The third point is regular whole class communication. It is very important actually. You are all connecting to your children through WhatsApp groups, unfortunately, rather than physically connecting to them. WhatsApp groups has become our channel of communication to our children as a whole. As a class, we are creating WhatsApp groups. Now, having WhatsApp groups gives teachers extra responsibility to manage it as well. We have created WhatsApp groups. What is the purpose of that group? It is not only to share the class links. Like the previous slides, I said some reference materials can be given to the children. It is not only for class links. When queries is not answered in the group, students lose their interest. Most of the groups I have seen, initially when they start, when the teachers are also responding, students get their energy. They tend to ask doubts inside. But over the period of time, when the group becomes unresponsive, that is when the students' doubts are not being answered in the group, the students completely lose interest in the group. The students use the group only to check links. They will just swipe the group from link to link. They will not check whatever, even the extra materials or reference contents which you are posting inside the group also, they will not be checking. So make sure, yeah, any teacher here, they will have maximum 1 or 2 WhatsApp group. If I'm not wrong, I don't know. At least you, if you are having 4 or 6 WhatsApp groups also, you check to any doubts concerning to your subject, and please make sure that you are available to answer it. During work hours also, it is fine. When you take from a gap from one class to another class, check the WhatsApp groups if there is any messages concerning to your subject. I know it is little too much to ask, but unfortunately we are at the situation right now here where these things has to be done. Okay, so also more video content to be shared from YouTube with proper R&D. Why I mentioned with proper R&D is video contents are highly sensitive content, sorry. So it can equally help the children. At the same time, it can also mislead the children also. So you cannot just forward any content inside a WhatsApp group without cross-checking it twice. If you are forwarding a video inside the WhatsApp group which is subject related, you should first have a complete thorough look inside the video. And you should ensure that none of the concepts, it's nothing else, like the concepts might be told in a different way inside the video, which will confuse your children. You would have taught your children in a particular way, and this particular concepts will be in a completely different way. Okay, so kindly check twice before sharing relevant content inside the group. So we have covered most of this WhatsApp group thing only we have been covering, wherein we are going to share multiple materials, extra materials, worksheets, PPTs, and then inside that itself you need to answer the student queries. And finally, when you are sharing something extra materials, make sure you are cross-checking it. Now, peer learning is a very important concept when it comes to regular whole class communication. Now, it is not that in WhatsApp group, the teacher has to only answer to another student, a student's doubt. Another student can also answer. Teachers can entertain students to answer to subject related questions, only to subject related questions. Okay. See, Menaka ma'am, your video is on. See, this is something which you need to take care when you are doing your classes. Like in the last 15-20 minutes, there is multiple videos which got on without knowing that the video is on. Okay, so this is something which you need to take care of. Now, coming back to peer learning, teachers can entertain students to answer subject-related questions. It's only should be subject-related questions, and how you can entertain is you can actually tag some student, or you can call a student by name, and you can ask the student to answer this particular question. For example, student A asks a question in physics, and you can, as a teacher, you can actually mention student B, try answering this particular question. Like that, you can ask as a teacher. If the student is not answering for a particular period of time, you can also suggest 2 or 3 students. If they are not answering, since they are not you can actually post your answer inside the group, and in the next class you can refer this. See, I have asked you children to answer this particular doubt, but unfortunately I didn't find any answers. Going forward, when I ask somebody, please answer to that particular doubt. Even if you are answering don't know, it is completely fine. You have that friendly environment, no problem. This confidence has to be there in the students. Only then they will come up with their own answers. And when they come up with their own proper answers, they will start learning amongst themselves. Okay. So this is something which you need to do. Clear? Now, peer learning is this, and review meetings. Now, out of regular classes, teacher needs to make sure that he or she is conducting a review meeting, the quick one or a detail-based availability on time, based on availability of time with the students. This most of you are already doing this, but get it done when in an online scenario. These review meetings are very, very important. Okay. So far, if you have any doubts, kindly put it in the chat. We will take a minute to check your doubts. So far, in the last 3 slides which we have seen, for example, content preparation, the PPTs, the shareables, the library, and then extra efforts on students, extra materials, and quizzing. Quizzing, we will be seeing it, how to create Google Forms and polls, and then the WhatsApp interactions, peer learning efforts. If there is any doubt, can you please put it on the chat box? Everything is fine, so thank you. I think research and development. Yes, it is research and development. Okay. Any doubts anybody have here so far? No. The PPT to be shared to students is on daily or after the lesson is immediately after the lesson is. Even if it is a daily thing, you should be having the entire PPT need not be shared, because it again the next class also they will be completely polled for Zoom is a paid service. Yes, it is a paid service. So once the lesson is over, you can share once the entire content of the PPT is over, you can share that PPT to them. Okay. Need not actually, or else you need to split the PPT into 2 based on your classes and share it. It should not be the tomorrow's class PPT need not be shared today itself. Mute all children and unmute as they raise hands, or the usual way. See, mute all children and unmuting when they raise hands is, it's a balanced class. Okay. Otherwise, in a Zoom or in an online environment, it is always that when when multiple students are going on unmuting, it will create a disturbance for the others. Even parents are going to listen to the class. They will not be hearing what the teacher is saying when there is noise coming in. Let's not allow students to unmute by themselves. You can selectively unmute them. What about teaching on a chalkboard? Yes, if you're confident on teaching on a chalkboard, yes, but it comes to the presentation way. There is a slide for that. I will teach you on. Like, I'll give you some tips on that also. There are certain things which you need to check before when you're teaching on a chalkboard. Okay. And now we will go to the next. Any user-friendly tips to take attendance? I have already shown you the poll. It's like it is like, see, the numbers are different. Now 850 members are here, but how many of you are actually attending the class? I don't know. That is where this inside the presentation, you can actually send a link to all in the chat box. Ask them to click the link and go to Google Forms and attend a small quiz. Or if you are using a paid account, you can launch a poll. All these things you can use for knowing the attendance, like how many people are there. Okay. If we share the PPT, there's a probability of reducing the attendance, because they will be aware that however, even we didn't attend the class, PPT will, no. That is a wrong approach to it. So if you are sharing a class recording, those are different. But if you are sharing a PPT, it is for them for their references. Attendance as in a school, even in a virtual environment, we are going to take attendance properly. Okay. So do you have any formats? Your heads and computer teachers will be able to make it, or else we will be helping you. Okay. Now I will come to the other doubts a little later after completing the next slides. Okay, please. Now being responsive. So till this regular whole class it's over. Now being responsive, it's very, very important. Class interactions. We are all good at conducting classes, 100%. But interaction is a major challenge in live online classes. Okay. Every 60 minutes, classes should have a minimum 10 minutes for doubt clarification. Okay. So once in every 60 minutes, if you're handling a class of a 50-minute class or a 40-minute class, at least 5 minutes you need to dedicate for doubt clarification. Like what we did right now. We covered 3 slides. We took a small, quick 2 minutes gap for entertaining some 5 doubts. That's enough. But an advice to you is when you're entertaining those doubts, call off the name of the student and then answer it. That will increase the attention span of the students. Okay. So rather than just reading out the doubt and answering it, call this student has asked this doubt. Very good. Now the answer to it is, this can be a tip to increase the attention span of the student. Okay. So minimum 10 minutes for doubt clarification towards the end. Given below are few points that you can entertain to ensure interactions. Enable chat at last 10 to 15 minutes minimum. If you are very confident, in between also you can ask them to chat. There is a feature wherein you can enable and disable chat. Now it is enabled completely, but in students case you need not have the chat enabled. You can have it disabled, and once the chat is enabled, like in between 5 or 10 minutes you can enable the chat. Okay. And selectively unmute children to ask questions, which I have done and shown to you. And use of raise hand facility can be entertained, which I have already discussed. Video option, see now 3 months or 4 months back, we can allow any student to turn on their video. Like we cannot restrict the student to turn on their video. There were incidents even in our group wherein the malpractices were followed when the videos were turned on. But now Zoom has come out with the latest version wherein even we can restrict the students to turn on their videos. We need not allow them to turn on their videos if you are not confident. But if you're confident that your children, there is only a bunch of like 15 to 20 children and all are your class students, then you can even ask them to turn on their video. But you should take that risk of like some disturbances in the video. Now, right now, Mr. Arun from Dindikal, I think so, BBC D. So you are turned on your video, but at the same time, you're not aware of it. So I have to stop the video. So these kind of disturbances will come. So it is better you turn it off. Students will not be in a position to check it regularly. So you turn it off. You don't allow students to turn on their videos. And chatting and selectively unmuting children is a very best way for being responsive. So kindly teachers, don't complete a class all 60 minutes. If it is 60 minutes class, don't complete all 60 minutes in teaching. That is where I'm saying, if in offline classes you take a topic for 60 minutes, in online you need at least 90 minutes to cover it, because in between you need to break for doubts. And you need to call certain names to actually make, okay, great, okay, Hazan Basha, sir, great, sir. And you need to call people name by name, students by name, so that all the class will equally be more attentive. That next might be my name will be coming up. So these are things which are very, very important in class interaction. So being responsive. Now, student volunteering, already we spoke about it, but again, there is a separate slide because it is very, very important now. This is something I think all our schools, all our teachers, we need to start following it. So peer learning, as mentioned before, student volunteering is a very important factor in online environment. We are not following it. I couldn't see much of student, or maybe some of the schools are entertaining this very good, but there are a lot of schools which we can actually improve this peer learning concept within students, even in an online environment. As I said, it will increase the scope of leadership and peer learning. For example, how it increases? In an offline environment, you are giving assignments or you are giving seminars to students. There will be a lot of schools and classes which will give seminars. But in an online environment, I don't see much of seminars being conducted by the students. As far as my knowledge I might be wrong. But if there is a chance, if you can actually assign few on some 5, 6 or 10 selected children from your class to take up an assignment, let them teach the concepts as a seminar. and then the previous like 10 minutes or 15 minutes allocate for them, and tell them within 15 minutes you need to prepare to complete this concept. And once they complete the concept, when it comes from from one of their friends, all the children will be more attentive to it. Okay, so the regular teaching, the regular phase changes. The teacher's phase comes every day in a routine manner. Suddenly there is a different known phase coming into the picture, so there will be a little higher interest with the children. Okay, these are small tips. So once the children start taking seminars after 15 minutes of it, then you can actually give a little kind of appreciation to the child who has taken the seminar, and also do a doubt clarification session. Or if you want to reteach it quickly, you can recap the portion which was conducted in the seminar, and you can go ahead with the doubt clarification. It is an easy way. It's like it gives a change of mood to the class. Okay, so this is something which you can follow. And one thing I'll say, psychologically, every single student, the one thing which the student lacks the most is appreciation during online class time, like during lockdown time. And there is one great effort which our director sir has taken, like giving trophies and medals and most appreciation certificates to students on a monthly and weekly basis, which has given a lot of interest for the children. Even at my home, my child has got a trophy which gave him a lot of confidence, a lot of happiness. So children likes to be appreciated, children likes to be recognized, so give that chance to them even in an online environment. Okay, so seminars are a very, very important thing which you can entertain, you can exercise. And then WhatsApp group, as mentioned earlier, invite students to clear doubts of their classmates. Just few tips and tricks, you can follow it. Okay, so this is about student volunteering. And then now comes to the major part called technology, where I'll take you through some of the features of Zoom. So technology familiarization is the most important factor in online class environment. Since we are adapting Zoom as our live class technology right now, most of the few of the schools would have Microsoft Teams also. Yeah, so there is Roger Rani ma'am. He had given appreciation certificates to teachers also, which motivated us too. Very good. That's a great effort actually. From our management side, it is a very great effort that appreciation came by our way even in the lockdown period. Okay. And for Dr. we advise them to raise their hands. We are still maintaining all the points you have discussed. Thank you, sir. Great. Priyadarshini ma'am, that's great to know that you are maintaining all these points. Very good. Now coming back. So Microsoft Teams we will not be seeing much here, but mostly I'll be covering Zoom here. Teams are normally that's used for the lower classes, I think so, and 9th to 12th also we are now adapting Zoom. So we'll be covering more of Zoom features here. So Microsoft Teams, if needed, I can even take another session later. Let us see features of Zoom which you can use and be aware of in your class. So these are few features which I will take you now: waiting room, share screen, whiteboard, security icon, breakout rooms, polls, quizzes, virtual background, watermark survey. So when you have a Zoom account, for example, now I'll take you to a Zoom account. When you have a Zoom account, and not unlike the app, even in the desktop, even in the computer you are doing it, or in a mobile you are doing it, take Google Chrome or some browser. Any browser, you take Google Chrome or any other browser and go to zoom.us, because the settings can be done only in the browser view, not in the app view. Okay, so the base settings of Zoom has to be done in the browser view. This is my Zoom profile. So this is a paid profile. I will also show you a free profile. This is my free profile. Okay, so it is a paid profile. So I'll take you quickly through all those all those features here. Waiting room. Waiting room, if you are very confident that the link is not being shared to somebody else, or it is always acceptable, because you will be having very selective crowd to your class, maximum 50 students, 60 students, or 100 students. So you can always entertain the waiting room, wherein students cannot directly enter into the class, but you can actually allow them individually or as a group. See, most of these features, you would be an expert on it, but there might be few teachers who would like to know what it is. So that's why I'm going feature by feature. And in between, there will be few things something which you would feel new, which was not there previously in Zoom. Okay. So this is regarding waiting room, which doesn't allow students to come directly into the meeting. And few other things which you need to know is, see, as a live class, the major problem the teachers will face is audio options, video options, renaming. Students might put something in the chat and rename themselves, and you will not be able to track them. And then chat options, how to control the chat options, that will be another thing. And Then what else will be there? And mainly the annotation. When you are sharing your screen, that students will be scribbling. If your settings are not properly made, there will be scribblings done from the student side. So these things are very, very important. Okay. So only authenticated meeting participants webinars attend. Authenticated is for us to give only to a selected number of participants, but this need not be entertained because we are in a school environment wherein parents will face difficulty, technical difficulty on this. So leave it. I'll come to the only the needed parts. Host video is off in me with me. Like when I start my meeting, my video will not be automatically on. That is a very important thing. Like when you start your meeting, normally in your own account, if this feature is on, without knowing, your video will be turned on. You might not be ready with the videos arrangements. So it will be like students will feel bad. Like maybe if you are taking from your house without being ready, the moment you start it, if the video turns on, your background will not be set properly. So that is kind of bad. So you always have it off. When you are ready, you can switch on the camera. That's enough. And participant video, always have it off. The video can be turned on later, but that security feature is separate. So now when they join the meeting, you can turn it off. Then audio type, always have telephone and computer audio. Most of the parents will attend from phone, somebody will attend from computer. So always have this done. So don't ever turn on this option. Allow participants to join before host. There will be a big tamasha happening inside the class even before you join. Like the moment you turn on this and you send the link to the students, before even you join or start the meeting, there will be students joining inside and they'll be interacting among themselves. They'll have their class of their own. So please don't turn this on. And then this is a new feature called Watermark. I'll send a document about this feature also. This is available both in free and paid versions. Once it is enabled, what happens is when you're sharing a PPT, whichever, if I am a student, if I am sharing my PPT and you are a student, your name will be visible as a watermark in that particular PPT, the shared content, so that you cannot take a video. You cannot place your mobile like this and take a video of the content here and replicate it. Your name will also be there as a watermark. Okay, that is a new feature from Zoom. So this I'll give you a document after the session. And mute participants when they join a meeting. Mute all participants when they join a meeting. You can turn it on because there will not be any noise. So upcoming meeting reminder, chat again, chat here, this private chat you need to turn off. Okay, even in your free version, you do have a private chat option. Is this sorry, this is actually settings. I'll go to settings. Okay, I think sorry, I'll just log in once. I want to show you the free account also. Are we allowed to? So Principal TVIS, sir has asked, like, are we allowed to create login credentials in Zoom to track them, sir? Like, where is it? Track them like we have in Teams. Only the authentic users to enter our class. You cannot actually, as in Teams, you cannot be creating a kind of what to say, restricted class environment. But what you can do is you can enable this feature. Only authenticated users can join. There is a feature called only authenticated users, only meeting participants and webinar attendees can join. Only authenticated panelists can join. This is for webinars. I will show you the authenticated users thing here. Only authenticated users can join the meeting from web client. This, if you are enabling, only users who give their proper email ID and password, login and come inside can only join it. So you will be able to track who has joined your meeting. So that will be possible if you are giving only authenticated users can join the meeting. Their names will be stable along with their email IDs. The details will be there available. Okay, you can check with your internal records. And now, okay. Is it necessary to have video interaction? It reduces the net speed. Like from a student perspective, when you see, like if the same session I would have like switched off my video, and I'm going to take it from, maybe my PPT is very colorful, so it is like visible, all those things are fine. But when in a normal session, like every day from morning till evening, when the students are going to attend this session, the minimum which we can give is show them some interactive phases. So show them some phases actually. So always I prefer to turn on your video and take the class if you're confident enough. Don't net speed and all. I don't think it is like you need to have nowadays. All the internet providers are giving proper speed, so you need to be prepared for that. Turning on the video of the teacher will actually increase the attention span or the interest level of the children to a great extent. Okay, please ensure that. And coming back to this chat, auto saving chats we have seen, always have this private chat off. And I will also show you a screenshot where you can actually turn on the chat only to allow admins, chat to admins alone, or chat to no one, or chat to everyone. There will be 3 options available. Always have chat to no one itself or chat to admins alone, you keep it, so that in case there is an emergency, they can chat to the admin. Please don't have chat to everyone enabled, because there might be multiple communications happening in the chat between the students when you are taking class. You don't want that interaction to happen. So always allow chat to the admin or chat to no one. Selectively at the particular time, you can allow the chat to happen. Okay. And okay, now feedbacks to Zoom. Co-host. If your computer teacher is organizing all the meetings and you are going to log in and then take the class, just you're going to log in and click the link and take the class, then this feature has to be enabled, so that the that particular user who has scheduled that from that account, they'll be able to give you co-host rights. Okay, because this co-host is very important. I'll tell you why while sharing the screen. See, screen sharing is another option where I'm giving only host only. Participants, please don't give participants screen sharing. They'll be able to share any content. Please give only host. And for giving only host, this co-host is also needed. If in case you are not scheduled in the meeting, somebody has to assign you co-host to share your screen. So this is very, very important. Okay. And this is a major part, annotation. Turn it off. You don't want annotation. Like you are not going to write in the PPT. If in case you are not going to write in the PPT, please turn off the annotation. Because the moment you turn it on, the students will be able to write on the PPT. It will be a complete disturbance to the class. So please turn it off. This is very, very important on the annotation part. Whiteboards you can use to write and show. So meeting reactions, all these things, these are casual things. You can turn it off. And please turn off allow remote participants to rejoin. This has to be turned off, because once a participant is actually showing some disciplinary issues and we are removing them from the group, they should not be rejoining back. Okay. So kindly explain how to allow only authenticated participants. That's what I said. Like when the moment you are actually putting this on, only the participants with the email ID and password and logged in accounts can join inside. But in Zoom, since you're sharing the link to everybody, even somebody can create a fake email ID password and log in inside. So that is one feature which you will not be able to control in Zoom. Okay. Now you will have, once the moment you understand that is not a proper authenticated user, you can remove them. That's all you can do. Breakout rooms right now for the school environment, breakout room is too much. Actually, now there is 800 plus participants here. I can assign breakout rooms of 50 participants. You will all be allocated into different Zoom meetings of 50 participants only. So if you want to divide the class into multiple classrooms and allow them to discuss among themselves and come back to the main class, that is where breakout rooms is used. This in a class environment, in a school environment, it creates a lot of confusions. So if you are really up for it, you can do it. Otherwise, let's not entertain that. Okay. Virtual backgrounds. So you can see my background. This is one important factor in case you are going to use your video and you are going to only share the presentations. Okay. You're not going to use your green board in the background. In that case, if you can please try to use a virtual background. Again, the heads and in charges, when you are sharing the PPT template, also share one virtual background template like the one I have right now here. What you need to do is you need to go to a plain background, maybe a dark background or something. And there should not be any, interruptions. Like I have my curtain here. The moment I turn this off to this side, can you see my curtain? So this is an interruption. This disturbs the virtual background. When I sit on a proper background and environment, it is very clear now here. Okay, I can use multiple backgrounds also. For example, now you can see my background here, and I can go and change it like even to this. I have my backgrounds prepared. So this is another background which I can use. So there are like you don't put in too much elements into your background. Like these are some common backgrounds which are available in Zoom. So this and all will don't put some distractive backgrounds for the students. Like they should not be concentrating on the background. Rather put some very subtle ones like this, where your face and your like what to say, what you're talking is more like what to say attended to. Okay, so like that you can just do this. For virtual backgrounds you can turn it on. So these are a few things. And now regarding polls, what if if it is in a what to say, in a paid Zoom account. Okay, let me schedule a meeting. I'm going to schedule a meeting here. You can all see this. I'm going to put as a test meeting or something like that, because to show you the poll test meeting. So today's date 11:30 a.m. or even 12:30 or whatever, 11:30 or a.m. it is 12 p.m. maybe 12 p.m. I'm going to schedule some meeting. Okay, so I'm going to save this. So if you are using a paid account, in case there are schools which are using paid accounts, so if you're using a paid account, this will be your meeting screen. When you come below, you will see something called as polls. Okay, it's just loading here. So when you come below, you will see something called as polls. You need to, before the meeting, you need to create such polls and keep it ready. Okay, so when you can create the polls, what is the question? How is the meeting? So I can even put the choices: good, bad, or you can add the choice, single choice. You can have multiple choices, check marks. So these are the two options they are giving. And once you save it, so untitled poll, even you can change the title of the poll. The untitled poll, you can change it to something. Okay. So like this, you can actually create polls. And even during the meeting, I don't think you'll be able to create, edit. You can be able to edit the polls, but you will not be able to create the polls. Okay. Now we have 788 people here. So let me launch another poll. Now, can you all see a poll here? Can we take some 30 seconds to answer this, so that we are almost coming to the end of the meeting? So this is surprise attendance. Again, this is very, very important. Okay, so we have, okay, Catherine Thomas, Richie, raise the hand. Okay, again, it has gone down, the hands. So Teams app, yes, Raju sir from Tanjavur. Teams, yes, obviously I'll arrange another session for Teams also, wherein I'll take you through this. Okay. And now see, suddenly you have a 700 plus participants. Now the participant count is somewhere between 790. So, and you have almost 300 participants now answered, 330 plus. So doing such polls, surprise attendance polls, will actually enable you to know how many students are actually participating inside the class. If they turn off their audio and video, you don't know whether the students are inside the class or outside. Maybe once in every 30 minutes or once in between, twice inside your session of 40 minutes or 50-minute session, you can actually do surprise attendances. Okay, so they needs to be there. They need to be inside the class to actually attend this. Okay, so you'll not get the no for an answer. 361 participants are actually attending the class right now. Oh, now it's 62. So now it is very slow increase. Okay, so I'll just end the poll. The purpose is met. I wanted to explain it to you. So this is about the poll. You can actually, a poll is a very important feature. You can put up 1 or 2 quizzes and surprise attendance polls like this, and you can actually give it. I'll show you where poll will be when once you have scheduled this, then where that poll will be shown also, I'll show you. And there's a screenshot, I'll show it to you. Okay. So this is about your polls. Clear? And now we will go back to, this is only possible in the paid account polls, unfortunately. So these are few, I think we have gone through all these things. Watermark also I'll show you to you in the, okay, I'll show this, this thing. So this is your, unfortunately, we will not be able to see our own Zoom screens in a share screen. Okay, our own Zoom tool will not come. That's why I've taken a screenshot of it. So this is your regular Zoom session. Now, if you see, there is a security icon, there is a participant icon, chat, share screen. There is something called as poll. Whatever polls you have created there, it will come here. When you click it, it will ask which poll to launch. And once you click on the right poll and launch it, the poll will be launched here. Okay. And recording, raise hand, breakout rooms, and even in the more, you will be able to find the options. I'll tell you, more of live streaming will happen in more. Stella ma'am, your video is on and you're not in a proper environment for the video. So this is one. This is a general Zoom screen. Now I'll go to live stream. When you click on more, these are the things which will come for live stream. Normally your classes need not be live streamed. Like it need not be streamed to YouTube or Facebook or anything. So let us leave that. And then comes audio settings. So when you click on this right small arrow in the audio, so you will get the microphone and speaker audio settings. You can always give the built-in one, internal speakers and internal microphones. It will avoid any sort of confusions in your audio things. Okay. Yeah, you can ask this like Kannan Babu sir, can we use this poll to ask mathematical questions? Obviously, sir, but I think mathematical questions, the format you need to give it properly in the question. It is not a text editor wherein all the formats will be accepted. The polls are just for taking feedbacks or opinions. It is not for like quizzes, or maybe quizzes also in an advanced poll you can create. That's all. But here, in mathematical and physics formulas and all, I need to check it, sir. Maybe I'll check it and I'll get back. Okay, black and green board teaching, I will tell you, ma'am. That is the last slide. I'll tell you. So this is regarding the audio settings, and now video settings. You will have a small arrow, FaceTime HD camera, like you can select the camera and then choose virtual background. This is where you go and click it to choose a virtual background. Now, when you go and click on choose the virtual background, you will get something like this. So here you have all this background set. I can upload it here. I can upload the customized background with this plus sign here. If I put the plus, this is my actual background. Okay, without the virtual background, this is my actual background. Okay, so I'm sitting in a very light background only, but my system is compatible enough to take it as a background, virtual background. For more good performance, you can actually select a dark background and sit in front of it. Okay, and always wear a contrasting shirt so that it is not reflecting. Okay, so that will be another point. So this is regarding virtual backgrounds. And security. This is very, very important. Once you start your meeting, make sure this security icon is there. You click on it, all the security things are here. Lock meeting. When you click on lock meeting, it is enabled. No new members can join the meeting in between the meeting. So once your students, all the students are inside the meeting, you can lock it. But there's a problem. Unfortunately, if one student leaves the meeting due to network issue, they can join back. They cannot join back. Okay, you need to unlock the meeting for them to join back. Okay, and enable waiting room. Once you enable it, the students cannot directly join inside the meeting. You need to allow them. And hide the profile picture. Okay, you can actually hide the profile picture if there is any profile pictures. For example, here I have my profile picture VB Live logo. When you click on this, these profile pictures will be hidden. Share screen. Allow participants. Here, you should not allow the participants to share screen. This should not be a tick. If you want to avoid them from chatting, this once you click on it, this tick mark will go. Renaming themselves, once you click on it, the tick mark will go. So don't allow them to rename. Unmute themselves, don't allow them to unmute. Like once I click on it, like what is happening right now, you will not be able to unmute. Start video. This is another feature which I told. Once you click on it and you are taking off the tick mark, participants will not be able to start their videos. Okay, so these are the things which in the security feature we have. Okay, clear? Now we'll go back to the presentation on technology. So just a minute, I'll entertain 2 or 3 doubts are here. Kindly, how to set allow authorized participant only option. I have already told you, ma'am. Just that only one click. I will again give you the PDF of how it is happening. Would like to know what better options are available in Teams as we conduct classes in Teams, particularly share sound option. Yeah, obviously Teams, I'll take a separate session for Teams. So this is just technology. I wanted to cover Zoom first, and Teams will be if I'm including Teams also, it will go more longer. Already we have 4 minutes past 11. So we will take Teams in a different session. I will surely handle the session in another 1 or 2 days. And finally, plan for the unresponding. 2 more slides, and then we will break out. Like we'll entertain some more doubts. Plan for the unresponding. A majority of class may not be responding to you. The only way you can handle it is first by knowing they are not responding. You can use one of these 2 ways. One is poll and quiz. We have already spoken a lot about poll and quiz, and selective unmuting. Again, you can unmute, call off certain names and selectively unmute them. Okay, that is something. And assignments and feedbacks. So in a virtual environment, assignments and feedbacks plays a major role. Like as we discuss, more assignments and self-preparatory worksheets to be given to children on an online environment. In such cases, 2 things are very important to practice as teachers. Assignment submission should be 100%. Like I can see, I have been part of classes wherein assignments were given, wherein some 60% or 50% of students will submit the assignments, the others will not, and no action will be, or not even a reminder for the others will be sent for the assignment submission. That actually makes the other students who are submitting assignments to lose interest as well. So assignment submission should be 100%. No student should miss submitting the assignment. So it is not only a job to give assignments, it is also equally important to get the assignments back and properly validate it. If this is not checked, other students will start doing the same. Correction on time is very, very important. Assignment correction and handing over to students should be done on time, as it is very important for them to have it before the next class. You can even give certain topics for them to read and come. So, or to talk about it as well in the assignments, like will increase the self-learning attitude of the children. So these things will increase, like for tomorrow's class, please read this particular paragraph and come. You can tell them, obviously you would be telling it already, but I'm just reminding you on this thing. And finally, being presentable. This is where all these green boards, blackboard, if you're teaching on green boards, if you're teaching on blackboards or whiteboards, or if you're not using a presentation, all these things comes into picture over here. Here, there is very, very major thing is, once you are presenting it, you are sitting in front of your computer. You can handle chats, you can launch polls, you can selectively unmute. All these things are possible. But once you are keeping your laptop here and going somewhere to the back side, and you are going to write on board and start talking, there is certain things which you need to take care. Before that, I will just finish this thing and then I'll tell you. Dress code. Kindly make sure that you are properly dressed for the class. Most of the classrooms, online classes, most negative feedbacks comes when the classroom decorum is not kept from the teacher's side also. So make sure that you're properly dressed for the class. Properly dressing doesn't mean your clothes alone. Dressing means your presentability. So a presentable face is a major energy factor for the children. Morning hours, if I come here and said, I'm going to take a class for you, like that, if my energy level is low, so even in an offline environment, if the energy level is low for a teacher, the energy level of the students will come down. But in an online environment, this is multifold. It is very, very important. Okay, so the energy level, the face has to be more fresh for the children. Like you have a very fresh face. Makeup is obviously entertained if you are confident enough and you normally do makeup. Please do. It is more entertained. And for male staff, have a proper shaved or a properly maintained beard, and button adjustments in dresses are very, very important. Like there are few classes where I noticed, not even inside our system, even outside our systems, when I attend few classes, I have noticed male teachers without having the first button on. So all these things might be a very, very minor things. Maybe it is very hot for you, so you have opened it up, but it gives a completely different feel for the students. Please don't do any of those things. Make sure you are taking extra care on your dress code. Okay, if you are using a virtual background, make sure that your background color and your dress color are completely different. See, my background color here, I will just show you. My background color here is plain, like a little pink and whitish color. So I am using a black shirt. Okay, so this is something which you can take care of. This the selection of shirts if you are using a virtual background. If you are not using a virtual background, if you're actually going and taking class, please make sure that you are, that is more important, to make sure that you are having a proper dress code. Okay, a professional dress code. Since you are taking from your houses, doesn't mean that you should have a casual wear. You should have a professional dress code while taking a class, especially when you're taking it in a green board or a white board. Okay, so that is regarding the dress code. And now, video background. Most cases when you're handling class from mobile, you tend to take it with you and set it after starting the class. That is one thing which I've seen in a lot of teachers even within our system. That is, they attend the class, they click on the link, they come inside the class, and they turn on the video, and then they go and take it and keep it somewhere. So after turning on the video only, you are keeping the mobile somewhere. So what is happening is, during the time when you turn on and keep it there, most of your background which you don't want the students to see is also being visible. Kindly avoid it. You set the mobile or the laptop or the tab first properly and then turn on the video. Okay, that is very, very important. Okay, and kindly set the video right before the class itself. None of your household things should be visible. If you're not taking with the board, then try the possibility of a virtual background. If you're taking with the board, it is different. If you're not taking with the board, try a virtual background. Check what are the checks you need to do before a class. Before starting a class, you need to check if your internet connection is stable. First thing, you also have your mobile connection as a backup. Okay, mobile network as a backup. Mobile users should also ensure calls shouldn't interrupt your sessions. A lot of sessions I've seen during the class, suddenly the class will be struck because that particular teacher would have received a call. Unfortunately, we cannot do anything because we are all getting accustomed to this environment wherein we are forced to take online classes, and we don't have proper devices. Maybe we are taking it from our mobiles itself. So if you have a Wi-Fi connection, then you can put on the airplane mode and turn on the Wi-Fi only and take the class. If you have a strong Wi-Fi connection alone. If you're using it from your mobile internet, then you don't have anything to be done, but make sure that that time normally calls doesn't happen, or you are cutting the calls as soon as possible. That is the only thing which we can do. So, and check if your audio is working properly. Maybe if you have a second device, you can join from the device and check it, and then you can exit from that device, second device. Or you can, even as we started this meeting, you can ask the students whether your audio is clear, whether you can unmute them, you can ask them to greet each other, and then you can ask them whether their audio is clear, whether your audio is clear and your background is clear, everything, and then you can start. Okay, video is placed properly and your presentation is okay. So audio is working properly, video is placed properly, and your presentation is ready. While screen share, ensure your PPT is lit. Okay, this is another thing. Most of the teachers I have seen, when they are sharing their screen, their WhatsApp, their chat, their some other personal browsing history which they have seen, all those things will be coming. Please avoid that. Have your only whatever you need for the class as the recent tabs. Even in your mobile, close all the other recent tabs. Have whatever you are taking for the class as the recent tabs. Have a professional wallpaper in case you are sharing from your mobile. Don't have some personal wallpapers or some even the WhatsApp chat box or everything open. So share, when you're sharing, please make sure that you are closing all the recent tabs and then you are sharing it. Only the needed content is to be shared, and keep it ready before itself. Open it and keep it ready so that you can easily share it. Please don't search for the content in front of the students after sharing. Okay, all these things are very, very important tips and tricks which you need to keep in mind. And another major thing is the audio, like the audibility of teachers when they are taking in a blackboard or a green board. Please check with the students once or twice. You go nearby the board and you actually make them unmute the children. Go nearby the board and ask the children whether they are able to hear you out. Then you can come and mute the children back. Okay, all these things you can do. Great. Uma ma'am, it is great. You are connecting from 2 devices to monitor students and share content from other device. So stopping echo is very simple, ma'am. You have to mute the other device, and also you need to turn off the entire volume of the other device. You are hearing, your audio is getting into this primary device, and you are hearing the audio from the primary device. If you are using your mobile for monitoring the students, what you need to do is you need to turn off the output audio as well as the input audio inside this particular mobile. That is enough for avoiding echo. Okay, so this is it. Checks before the class. So mostly I've covered very, very basic points. but at the same time, I think I've covered a little bit of it. And I would like to know, before we go into the chat box thing, I would like to know whether this session was at least useful. Like 1 or 2 points where you are able to gather, at least even one single point you are able to gather, I'm happy about it. Okay. So great. So yeah, okay. So thank you all. So the poll we will close this, and then we will have the chat box also open. Thank you. Now the chat box for the next 2-3 minutes, the chat box will be there. I think I've already taken 15 more minutes than the anticipated time. I'm really sorry for this. But I hope I was able to answer all your questions. If there is any doubts also, you can please mention in the chat box. Okay, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. There's a lot of feedbacks coming. Thanks a lot for you all. Okay, I'm happy. So almost 297 people have responded. 300 people have responded, and most of you have benefited from the session. You're saying, thank you. Okay, thank you, thank you. So I'll end the poll now. Thanks a lot. Okay, so we will meet again. Like in between, I will, if there is any updates coming in, if there is anything which I need to share through your school heads, I will share as a PDF throughout this online timing. So throughout when you are taking online, any new updates coming in, I will share it with through the school heads. And this PPT, everything, I'll share it through the school heads. And also, if there is even Microsoft Teams, we will arrange a new session. And when there is anything which has to be shared also, in between, we will arrange multiple sessions for you all. Okay. And if there is any particular doubts from your side also, you through your school heads also, everybody have my number. Most of the groups are there. So you can just reach out to me. Okay. Thank you all. So hope, I think it's a good time to end the session. Thank you all. Yeah. So